Hello, I'm James Stratton with OTG Realty Advisors, and I'm excited to announce our newest optimized portfolio, Laura Ash, whose asking price is $9,380,000. Let's go to the vault and see what we can learn about Project Laura Ash. All right, welcome back. Let's just take a look at Project Laura Ash and see what makes Project Laura Ash so special. Now, first, Project Laura Ash is a value portfolio. And at OTG Realty Advisors, we define a value portfolio as a portfolio that once it is purchased, there is a substantial amount of savings made in the expenditures toward the property. So in other words, maybe you have a really good property manager or a better landscaping company, better utility plan, something that saves you enough money that you're making money by saving money. Okay. Now, Project Laura Ash also falls into the category or our series is a medium cap. And at OTG Realty Advisors, we define a medium cap as any portfolio whose asking price is somewhere between 7 million and 14 million. All right. So this particular case, this portfolio is the asking price is 9.3 million. Now, first I want to give a really big shout out to the brokers who listed these properties because these particular properties were chosen, these two properties were chosen out of a sample size of 865 income producing properties in the state of Texas whose sample total price or asking price is 1.47 billion. So definitely a great job of listing these properties. Now, one of the things you can actually do is we can actually drill down and kind of see where all these properties are sitting at. Now, this was the sample size that we've got here. All right. Now, this particular slide asks or answers a particular question that an investor may have. You may be an investor and you're looking and saying, hey, look, I've got $9.5 million I'd like to be able to invest next year in commercial property. I would like to get as much property as I can for that 9.5 million. And I would like to have the highest expected return in the market with the lowest risk, which is exactly what modern portfolio theory does. And in this particular case, there's two properties in that portfolio that do just that. Okay, now let's look at the cash flows of the two properties themselves, the predicted cash flows. Let me get out of this a little bit here. All right, here we go. Now, if you look at these cash flows, they're the normal cash flows that you would see out of any property purchase. So for example, in the first year, that's your big expenditure. Property number one's asking price is $7 million. And so that's what you'd be spending thereabout. And same here for 1.7 million. All right. And then these are the cash flows from the property themselves. And it tells you that the property number two in 2023, its predicted cash flow is $771,000 and some change. All right. Until we get out here to the year we want to sell it at 2029. Okay. In the year 2029, we predict we want to sell it then. And it's telling us, or it's predicting that the total cash flow from that would be roughly about $10.4 million. Now, that also includes the sales price and the net operating income from that year. All right. Same thing over here for property number two, whose predicted sales price and cash flow at that time would be 8.4 million. Now, this next chart that we have down here is a very important chart when it comes to portfolio theory because we want these predicted asking prices over the years to be not correlating. So they negatively correlate with each other. Now they're kind of running together, and we're going to see how that affects our equity plan on the next page. But one good thing that we can choose here, let's just say, for example, we decide we don't want to sell the property in 2029. We want to sell it in 2026 instead. So it's given us our predicted asking price in 2026. And if we want to look at the cash flows as well, we could drill down through it, and it would tell us that the NOI or the net operating income of property number one in that year would be 723,000, and property number two would be 690,000. Now, if at any point in time during this video you've heard a bunch of different jargon thrown out there like NOI, NPV, IRR, cap rates, Markowitz curves. You're going to see here a bunch of things out here. Now, if you're not familiar with those terms are, look down in the description. You'll see some quick tutorial videos that'll get you up to speed on that. All right. Now, let's go to the next slide. This next slide is our all-important slide. It's our equity plan. How do we spend our money if we decide we want to buy this portfolio? All right. So let me see if I can get us backwards here on this. All right. So this particular plan says this. All right, I got two properties. Where do I put my equity? Certainly, I'm not going to put my equity 50-50 in each one. That wouldn't be very good. So one of the things we do is we use a Markowitz curve down here to tell us or help us predict where we put our equity. All right. Now, what I look for as an analyst is I look for a curve that looks just like this. So imagine an imaginary line going through this. That is a nice looking curve. All right. And if you also look down in the description of Markowitz curves, you're going to learn the importance of where they're located at. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to look at this point right here. So we're going to choose this point at that 4.228% and see what it tells us. All right, so this particular software tells us that we should put 43% of our equity into property number 1 and 57% of our money in property number 2. If we do that, then property number 1's net present or predicted net present value of the cash flows would be 3.61 million, and conversely 8.26 million in property number 2. The total combined would be $11.87 million. All right, so it's a very nice way of determining how I spend my money. All right. All right, let's go to the last frame. All right, so let's take a look at some leading particulars on this portfolio. Okay, so first let me give a disclosure here. First, James Stratton and OTG Realty Advisors LLC. We do not have any ownership interest in these properties, and we do not have the exclusive right to sell. We are an exclusive buyer and investor brokerage, and what we do is analyze properties for buyers and investors. So as a result of us not having an exclusive buyers, or excuse me, an exclusive sellers agency agreement, we cannot give you in this analysis the addresses of these properties unless we have some type of limited representation. If you'd like to learn more about that, simply look in the description down below. But what we can do is give you an analysis of the portfolio. Now, in this particular case, these two properties lie in Grapevine in Ty, Texas. And we can learn what the square footage is and the asking price. Also, the property types and whether or not it's in an opportunity zone. All right. Now, one of the things that modern portfolio theory tells us is that we want a diversified property type, which we do. We have office and land, multifamily, and we want them in diversified locations, such as Grapevine and Ty, Texas, because this helps us reduce our non-systemic risk, and it gives us exposes us to less volatility. Now, I certainly hope you got some value out of this video. If you did, please make sure you hit the like button and give us a comment below. We'd love to hear back from you. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification so you can get more analysis like this in the future. All right, have a great day.